Well, welcome to It's a Sure Thing with your host, Diane Murray-Clements.
Like that.
To that. So good morning. How are you, Sydney Barnes?
Good morning. I am great every day.
That's wonderful. I'm glad you're able to join me this morning to talk about your business, but not only to talk about your business and how you got into the business, but also to discuss the access into construction and what's available and what people should be looking into. So let's first start with, tell me a little bit about yourself, Sydney, and how did you land into the construction industry? Because I know you didn't start there.
Right. So I've always been an entrepreneur. I was born an entrepreneur. It's been in my system for a long time. I was about 16, 17 when I got into this business. My father-in-law taught me this business when I was that young. And, my father-in-law, who was already strong, doing well, had all the contracts for the post office, took me by his side and said, hey, if you're going to be with my daughter, then you got to work with me. And he took me on. And then there was a gentleman who worked in my building who was a contractor. And I just loved what was going on in that whole factor. So I just took on some great lessons from some great teachers when I was 16. And I've been actually doing this business since I was 17 years old.
Wow. So when you started working with your father-in-law, around 17 up until then, when you said you started after that, you got married. Before that, you were in the military. Do you think the military prepared you for this?
No, it didn't. Honestly, I was born like this, right? I was a critter. I remember my parents used to always say, boy, you got the gift of gab. And my dad used to always slap me upside my head. And he was like, why are you so smart? Why are you so smart? So I was gifted with this. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. He was a strong man who was my idol. But I think the person that really prepared me for this and made me who I am was my mom, my mother. Yeah, my mother. No military was stronger than her.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody was stronger than her. Yeah, and that's not from beatings, and that's not from anything. It's just that she led by example, right? And her reflection was an image, and it was basically, you look in the mirror every day, and you just thrive to be that particular person, right? Because you're a strong, wonderful Black woman, and just women in general. But you guys can look into a cupboard, and there's nothing in there. And others, and you can make something happen. Others look in there, and it's like there's nothing to eat, but all of a sudden you all have a pot on the stove. It's like, where did she find that from? So it began that process, and then I just watched all the way through.
So you got your ethics and your morals from your family. That's something that everybody doesn't have. I know when you're out there doing your business, you run into a lot of young people that have not really found their way or direction as to what they're looking to do. How important do you think the trades are in education system?
I think the trades are fine. Now, one of the things I try to get people to understand, somebody said to me a couple of years ago, they said, hey, listen, everybody doesn't want to be a contractor. So why are you always talking about construction? But it's not that. It's just, I'm talking about vocation. So I tell people, go on Google or whatever site you want to and look up what vocational trainings are. There's so many facets of vocational training. I just speak of what I'm familiar with. And I think trades nowadays is more important than it was ever, because the access to not only independence, financial independence, well, we talk about that, but the biggest thing is wealth, right? Generational wealth. Having the power to be able to, and I say this in other previous videos and things that I've had, just get up tomorrow and say to yourself, I'm not going to work. Get up tomorrow and say, I'm going on vacation. Get up tomorrow and say, you know what? I'm gonna lay in bed all day. Get up tomorrow and just say, I'm going to do whatever. And you work a regular job and see how that works out for you. When you work for yourself, all those things I mentioned, you can do, right? You can do all the things, enjoy yourself. You can grow your wealth based on what is your requirements, what are your needs. So trades are very important, but I tell everyone, understand what vocational trades are first. And that's important. You don't have to be a contractor. You can do anything. You can dental hygienist. You can be, anything. Just look at what vocational trades are. And vocational trades will make you as much, or if not more money than any other, hard labor job that you can do.
Right. Now, you do construction. What is your specialty? Is it plumbing, electrical, carpentry? What do you do?
Well, so here it is, guys. I tell everyone I'm a businessman first. I'm pretty much out of. They kind of weaning me out from the construction. So I have a general construction company, and we're builders. Inside that construction company, I've incorporated every facet of commercial and residential repair and building. So from building, from framing, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, masonry, roofing, gutters, windows, every single thing that completes the job, so I don't have to go out and bring someone else in. I have a crew to look into first, and that's of subcontractors that I have put together, which are some great men in trying to make it some great women. We haven't gotten it yet, and just building that. So my specialty is making sure that I can supply you with everything you need to be a complete business.
Okay, so when you say you're a businessman, so that means that you have moved out of the actual physical labor of the construction business and you're now overseeing all of that as a general contractor. Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, that is correct. As much as I can, I do. You'll see me working. You'll see me doing some things because I get fidgety, right? I have that. I told you my dad used to pop me upside my head and steal something. So yeah, my son-in-law tries to keep me from working. My daughter tries to keep me from working, but it's in my blood, and it's something that as just as people who've been in business, it's so difficult for us to not do something. But what you've said was correct.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk about your daughter and your son-in-law, don't want you to work and you should be, falling back and probably doing more paperwork instead of the actual labor. How is it that you come to these projects? Do you do advertising? Is it word of mouth? Like, how do you get your business?
Well,
Because
so let me explain something to you all. Y'all, Diane has been a very great support of my business, right? I'm be honest with you. Diane has been very well in supporting us and giving us work to do and keeping us busy on those areas. But what happens is that I get a lot of referrals because I've done one job and it was nice, and I got another job. People watch the videos that I put up. People look at the workmanship. People look at the quality of personal care, quality of customer service, just the overall quality of a businessman. And that's why I run the business, Diane, because I'm very focused on customer relations and great participation, but also to making sure that there has to be somebody out there that is grooming this whole process, right? Because if you're buried into what you're doing, you're going to miss a whole lot. So those referrals are not going to be there. Those people who really want to see what you can do for them is not going to be there. And I always tell my guys this: it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how great the work look. People are only going to judge you by two things. They're going to judge you by the mess that you left, which is, something I tell my guys all the time. When people look at you, they're going to be like, well, these guys, they did this, but they left a mess. And that's what's going to hold them down. And then I tell the guys all the time, people are gonna judge you of how you came and you presented yourself at their job, hollering, screaming, pissing on the side of the house and doing that. I see a lot of contractors who have jobs and they don't put porta potties there. So you find the guys pissing behind the bushes, you find the guys doing all that, and everybody doesn't like that. And in this business, I have to say it because it's the truth, but we treat certain people a certain way when we go there, right? We treat our environment a certain way, but when we go someplace else, we want to treat that, and the treatment should be the same. So, people don't talk about your work when they come home and they see that the place is a disaster. That's what they're going to talk about.
So when you talk about that and you say everybody doesn't treat everybody the same when it comes to contractors, what are you referring to? Are you referring to race, or you referring in what the expectations people have before you even start the job?
Yeah, I'm talking about area, environment, race, all that. So in other words, you'll go to Newark and you'll work over on one of our streets and, you'll just do whatever you do there. And, it's almost like, but if you go up to one of these other areas that are more influential or in a little bit up there, and different type of people as far as races, mixture, you don't pee in their yard, right? You don't do that there. You know what I mean? So you
don't throw the trash out there, right?
Yes. So that's how it is. So I try to tell people who work for me, I say, God, listen, guys, I don't want anybody to come and work for me. I want somebody to come and learn with me, because I don't want you with me forever. That's not what I am. All right. I'm not a person that's looking to hire somebody as a laborer, right? We got to get out of that. I want to hire you to be interested in having a career, starting your own business. So now I can incorporate you into my subcontractors. So now when I come to you, I'll say, hey, listen, Mike, how much you going to charge me to do this? Now you're going to give it my price. Has to be my price, right? And that's how we work. But more importantly, that's not even the big part of it. The big part of it is I want you to be independent and do your own thing. If I never use you, I want to be able to look over there and know that I've trained someone to be independent, to do well, to make their own money, and they can pay it forward. That's how I bring people into me. I only keep you around for a very long time if you choose that that's what you want to do, but I still need you to learn so I can leave you.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Gotcha. So you could be independent.
Correct.
So when you're going out on calls to talk to customers, what do you find some of the customers' biggest concerns looking for a good contractor? And what
So,
should they look for?
all right. So I want to just rewind just a little bit. I'm going to answer that. So just to let everybody know, I have two companies. I have a construction company and I have a remediation and restoration company, which I started about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And that is a very, very, very good company. And now I'm getting ready to start another company in the middle of the year, which I've already started already. But so when you're looking for a contractor, I think it's best people understand, we have a lot of guys that will show up to the job and they'll put 17 people on the job, they get it done and they leave. Well, that's not really how you look for a contractor. How you look for a contractor is it has to be a relationship, right? It's very important to have a relationship with the contractor because you can get a fair price now and you can pay to have it done and it looks good. But when it's all said and done, when you pick up the phone, do they answer, do they come back, or do they respond, period, right? So
Mm,
you need to have a relationship with a contractor that no matter what, even if they say I can't get to you right now, but give me a couple of days, it's a matter of fact, right? It's keeping that relationship is strong because people look for contractors. The first thing they want to do, they want to get the cheapest price, but they
mm,
want the best contractor.
absolutely.
Right. So
Mm,
I tell folks all the time, if you want quality
mm,
based with what you have to make sure you incorporate the best. So if you want the best, it may cost you a little bit more. But if I pick up the phone, regardless of what time it is, B&D restoration and cleaning, this company here, it's 24 hours. So if somebody pipes burst, if there's a house fire and I have to go board it up, if somebody has feces in their basement, and I got to clean it up, I have to get up in the middle of the night and I have to go do that. So I am used to a 24-hour response system. But there are contractors and guys who are not, they won't come out after you do, you get them. They
right.
just don't, right? So
Mhm.
to answer your question, how do you find it and what should you look at in a good contract for a good contractor? You have to find one that you can build a relationship with. Stop thinking about, wow, they did a good job over there. I'm going to go see if they can do mines.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. I get that. That's beautiful. I'm not saying don't do that. But then when you talk to them or you create a couple of days of communication, how responsive are they? Right?
Mhm.
How do they make you feel? And you give them a test, right? Call them one time awkwardly and see how that responds. And it's like I always tell people, it's like starting your car in the winter. Every now and then you got to start it up to keep it from frosting. And every now and then you have to test that contractor to see how committed they are to you, not the money. Because if you do the job, the money's going to come. But how committed everybody that I work for, every single person I've worked for, and no, I'm sorry, I apologize, take it back. There's one, but majority
There's always one.
is one, but it's something I did, right? It's something I did.
Mhm.
But everyone else, I try to create a relationship. I send them. I'll try to send out more postcards. I'll try to call them every now and then, and they'll call me. I try to make sure that I do what I can, the best that I can. But I never want nobody to see me on the streets and say, "Hey, that guy's no good." No,
Right.
I mentioned to you earlier about that woman. That
Mhm.
woman, my
That
mother,
one. Mhm.
right? And you knew her. You knew my mom, so that's good. But my mom her name meant everything, and it showed when she had the funeral. My grandfather, his name meant everything. I'm the third, my grandfather's the first. My name means everything. So when I am out there and I'm dealing with people professionally, my name means everything.
So when you talk about that one client, what is and I wouldn't say your worst client, but what can clients do to be better customers?
Right. Okay. I think that majority of the time customers are good customers. I think so. It is us that brings out the anger in them, right? It does. You know, I'm a grown ass man, so when I walk into and I deal with a customer, I'm dealing with you like a grown ass man. Simple as that. But I think customers get a reaction based on that relationship not being good. That relationship is just not being good. But I do believe that I mean, I've had all my customers. When I say customers now, people that I'm working for, not people that I'm estimating. Estimation is different. But
Right.
people that I signed the contract with,
Right.
I always 100% have had great relationships. Always. Anybody that I do work for that I've had, as always, because if I find out that there is something that causes us not to have a great relationship, I want to find out about it and I want to fix it. Whether I work for you ever again is not important. What is important is that I don't want to leave that impression in your mind on something that I have the power to fix and control.
So do you think that reality TV has been bad for the construction business? You know, some customers come in wanting these grandiose things that they believe can happen in 2 or 3 days because they watch it on TV and they're trying to figure out why it's taking you 2 or 3 weeks to get it done. And you're laughing. So I'm sure you have a story.
Yeah, Diane, you're right. I mean, you hit that. That was a great question. I'm telling you, because you hit it right on the head. That HGTV has really put it together. It has come a long way since you know, the VHS tapes that they had, This Old House. But
Oh, right. On
yeah,
channel 13, right?
channel 13. Yeah, This Old House. We were watching. I still got the. I just threw away the VHS tapes. But yeah, I think what it does, it gives false impression. But I think more importantly, what happens, and it's really bad. And guys, when I say this, please don't hold it against me. I just want to make sure that I'm honest with my conversation. But majority of the Spanish guys make people think that is that simple, right? Because they come in with 70 people and they do something in a matter of seconds and minutes and they leave. So you think that is the way that works go, but it doesn't
You're
work.
right.
Because when they're gone, try to call them when it's done. Now, like they say, I don't own the rights to this music. I am not. This is a disclaimer. I am not saying that all Spanish guys who speak Spanish with different languages are like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we get an impression because we see the work, but now when the bad storm come and the siding happen to slide down a little bit, or when the bad storm come and you see the metal on the siding, and you try to call them, no comprende, me no speaking English. I don't know where he's at. So that's something you have to deal with. And I say this because I'm strongly about making sure that as many of us, many Black folks, understand what we need to do. But we are good contractors. We have great contractors. And when you find a good contractor, ask a good contractor about another good contractor. And if he says, I wouldn't recommend somebody, then just know doggone well, it means something. So when you come to me and you ask me something, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I give you the honest answer, right? I give you the honest answer that I could. But to answer your question, yes, that HGTV has fooled me.
No, I definitely get what you're saying, because I've seen a lot of people that have gotten small jobs, steps done, and you can see 10 or 15 of them standing out there doing the steps. And I'm thinking, you don't need that many people to do your front porch brick steps, but they're there and it's done in like 2 days, like you said. And then you come down the street to my house and it took 2 weeks to get my steps done.
Yes.
So yeah. Yes. With 3 guys. So I definitely see I think when we watch HGTV and these reality shows, we have these impressions, like you said, that things are going to move quickly. And that's just not how it works. For one, materials may not be available. When you start looking at options on what you could really do in your house and compare it to what you see on TV, sometimes those options aren't available. Like you have these grandiose ideas that you can do these things, but based on the structure or the layout of your house, it's not possible. So I can see that being an element or a bone of contention for contractors when they go in to speak to clients and stuff like that.
It is, Dot. Dot, I handle everything business-wise, right? Everything business, right? I make sure everything is done properly. And then, so let me explain this real quick and let folks know, hey, folks, when I come to your house, I just want you to know I'm an old-time businessman. I have liability. I have workman's comp. I have the proper insurances. I have to pay for license and permits that have to be paid on a monthly, and everything's paid on a monthly basis. I have repairs. I have payrolls. I have payroll taxes. I have business taxes. I have all these things that I have to distribute as a business. I am not those guys that come, as Diane said, to 15 people and paying everybody by the day. I do not, hear me when I say this, I do not handle day laborers. They cannot.
So what's a day laborer?
A day laborer is when you go to one of these Home Depots or one of these other stores and you pick the guys out on the street that are going to come and work for you and give you a day or 2 days work. I don't deal with them because as I go back, rewind the tape, I want to make sure when you call me, I'm able to call that person and say, hey, listen, the door fell off that you put up yesterday, get your butt over there and get it taken care of. Because you don't never want the police looking for you. I mean, you don't never want me looking for you. You want the police looking for you. Because if I have to come and get you and I don't paid you, it ain't gonna be nice. So it is very important that people understand when I give you a price, people have told me all the time, your prices are high. Yeah, but I'm not the guy over there. I'm not the guys over there that are not paying, or they're paying cash that day, or they're paying a little bit that day, or they don't have insurances. They all take their checks that you give them and they cash them at the check cashing place.
So that's an important fact that you just mentioned, that when a client or customer is looking for a contractor, that's a question they should ask their contractor that they're looking to hire. Do you have employees or do you have day laborers? Because that's important.
Yeah.
Because that definitely does speak to the quality of the work that you'll get. Not necessarily that the quality will be bad, but if there is an incident and you need to call them back,
right,
you have that insurance that they'll be able to come back and be able to fix the problem. Yes. So that is important.
It is, Dot. Dot, my company, B&D Restoration and Cleaning, it's important too because we deal with mold, fire, water, storm, restoration, remediation. And when people come to your house, I hear people say this to me all the time. I had some mold and I had it removed, or I got some mold I needed taken care of, or my water heater overflowed, my toilet overflowed, or something like that. And people go and they tell me all the time, I have one of my contractors or the contractor or whatever is going to take care of that for me. And I always try to tell them this all the time. If no one can present to you a license that they are licensed to remove the water, if they are licensed to remove the mold, you need to stay far away from them, because there is a process of removing mold, and there's a process of cleaning up water, and there's a process of cleaning up feces. And
so are you telling me that Clorox is not the way to go to get rid of mold? No,
Clorox and bleach is like giving Popeye spinach.
So you're just feeding it then?
Yes, you're just feeding it, right? So there's a proper way of doing this, right? There's a proper way of doing this. And if you don't do this that way, what's going to happen is you're going to ruin the internal and external well-being and health of everybody and anybody that's in the home. And this is very vital for people to understand and to know when it comes down to mold, when it comes down to any type of mold. First of all, there's different type of molds. On brick, there's water, there's white mold, there's black mold, there's so much different stuff. But you got to have a license, and you need to have them to present to you the license to you, so that if your daughter, your child, your son, or anyone think that they have asthma, but they've just consumed all the dust from the mold that you just removed wrong, and you have to go to court or the health department requires, they want to see the license from the licensed professional that just did that, or you don't have a case.
And they're supposed to give you a certification once it's completed. Isn't that right? A mold certification that says it was removed, and or is that just was asbestos? Because I know I
No,
had
that's got to
asbestos.
probably, that's asbestos, but
Oh,
mold,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Mold, no, but mold, no, but mold, long as you have their license,
Okay.
long as you get a copy of the license and you know
Okay.
that this is, you know that this is, they're going to do what they're supposed to do properly, because there's machines involved, you know,
Okay.
there's machines involved. So, you know, it's not going to, if they come in and do it properly, they should be setting up machines.
So you
That's
said you said you started in construction carpentry with your father-in-law. How did you decide to open up this companion business for mold and remediation?
well, when I was with this business, when I was doing work for someone, can you call Santiago, let him know I'm on a meeting? I'll get back to him. What happened was, I was working for a customer, and he came up to me. He said, "Hey, man, listen." I was referred to him. He said, "I love the way you work. I love the way you do business. I'm gonna show you how to make some more money. There's another thing that you need to do because my brother's doing it, and I think you need to get into it." So he told me about it. I came home. I spent 3 days. I spent 3 days. I investigated. I spent 4 days. I went online, took the courses, took the classes. I got licensed in it, and that's how I set it up. That's what I did.
This is doing.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense, because now how do you get your referrals from mold and remediation? Because you talked about houses being boarded up from fires and stuff like that. Because you know, if a family is in a fire, they don't know to call you. So how do you get those connections?
Okay, so it's very important, and I put videos out already, guys, and I put things on my website and webpage, but I let them know that whenever someone has a fire, everyone wants to know, how do we help them? How do we get them taken care of? And it's very vital to call someone like me when you have a fire, because 99.9% of everyone, if not 100, they're going to need a public adjuster. You're going to need someone that's going to fight the insurance company, because if you don't, this is what the insurance company is going to do, right?
That's what we do.
No, you're an insurance broker, but the insurance companies do, right? They delay, deny, and defend. They're not going to, right? So you call me, I'm the public adjuster. I come in. Well, your pocketbook? So you come in and you come in, and I go in there, and I fight with the insurance company with you to get paid. So I fight with the insurance company to make sure that you know, your house get boarded up. I fight with the insurance company to make sure that you have some place to go live. You're supposed to be put in a place that is equal, if not higher, to where you live. You're supposed to have your food paid for, a certain percentage of your food. Right? You're supposed to, if you have any belongings in there that can be saved, couches, anything, I'm supposed to help you get those things to the proper laundromat that handles that, to have it protected and have it stayed. All that stuff is what I do with this particular binder here, with all this stuff. And I am the one to make sure that you get yourself back to where you're supposed to. If you need to have yourself a storage, we need to be able to do all that. But it's all based on understanding your policy and your declaration of what you are qualified for. Most people that have that have these fires, you have people that show up to the fires that call fire runners, or whatever they call them, or whether they're all going to be there and they want to get the job. But again, let's go back, guys. Rewind the tape to what I said about building a relationship, because of course we all want the money, but going along the way, are you dealing with the people who are just treating you as a number, or are you dealing with the people who are going to treat you as the, you know, the people who lost what they lost, and they need that care and compassion because the money's going to come anyway, and about that, folks. But yeah, so that's how it is. And how do I get my referrals? Well, it's tough getting referrals because a lot of Black folks are not familiar with this process, to be honest with you. And when people see you, you know, post about, you know, hey, I'm here to help you with that fire. So if you know that person who house caught on fire, you know, have them to call me, and I'll tell. They're not familiar with that. Unfortunately, it's been a business to where it's been dominated by other people. So get us breaking through right now is kind of difficult.
So why do you think it's difficult? Is there not an attraction to being self-employed and making money at your own expense? Like, I don't understand. Why do you think people, Black Americans, Black people are not jumping into the trades more?
Because Black people don't get a chance to believe in visuals, right? They don't believe that it's possible. Black people, my father used to say, boy, you better get up because job ain't gonna knock at the door. So you better get up. And I think we wait for that to knock at the door.
Mhm.
Black people are, you know, they want dollar signs to come to them a little differently because they think that they are entitled. But I think for the young folks, the problem that we have, for the young people is that the mothers and fathers are the problems that we have today. And I don't care how much hate mail I get from that. I really don't care. But moms and dads don't push these kids out to go out and be involved in that mentorship ideal, right? So in other words, have your child to call me, or have your child to go up to any contractor, or go up to anybody business, or go somewhere and say, hey, listen, I would like to find out, how can you mentor me? And I think that is very important. And for someone to turn that down, it's a minor piece, but you keep moving and you want to be you want to get a mentorship and learn. Listen, I want to get into this business. What does this take for you to mentor me? And I think what parents need to do is parents, moms and dads, or moms, or just dads, or whoever the guardians are, they need to get these kids away from these video games, and they need to get these kids out. You know, you are in the insurance business, and they need to knock on your door and give you a chance to have a pool of people to decide who's one mentor intern, right? You get credits just for life. And Diane can bring you there, and to become the tough teacher, to become the tough disciplinary, but also to become a revolutionary person, to bring on these great ways and habits and behaviors to be independent. And it means more to you, Di, than any customer you can have. And the same here is to have someone who wants to do it. See, you want to take volunteers, you don't want prisoners, right? And the parents are the problem of the young folks getting involved in the trades today.
You know, I was just reading an article yesterday, and I got some email, and I believe it was from the Economic Development Center, and I want to say it was the one in Union. They are now putting together money, and they have grants that they're giving to people who are released from prison, who are interested in starting their own business and going into trades, which I think is a phenomenal thing. And they say that they will, help fund you, help train you, get you trained, so that you can, be productive and be self-employed. I think that's a great thing. I don't understand why they took the trades out of the school system. And I also don't understand why people are not pushing for them to go back into the school system again.
Well, you know what, Di? I want to talk about that piece real quick, and I want to go do this. Right, there's 90,000 churches all over the place, right? They take over the bodega spots, they take over mechanic shops. They put a church everywhere. They put a church on the doggone in a burnt up garage. But the same people who are doing this are not gathering together to create a vocational mindset, right? Because it's not about church. Church is not a building, right? Nowhere does it tell you in your Bible that you read that church is you got to have a building to have a church, right? It's not that. What you need to do is look at where you're going to involve your congregation, and you need to understand that we need to find out, with all these people that are coming here, everyone has something that they are good at, that they do. So let's do this. Instead of us building this big old elaborate church, and if we do build it, why don't we create half of this area and make it a training for whatever they do in there that they have, right?
Right.
So we don't, taking it out of the schools was bad. And I can be the first ones to say that the educational curriculums are all bull crap, right? They all teach you how to be laborers. They don't teach you how to gain wealth. Because why it takes you 8 years to learn it? Then it's going to take you another 4 years. They give it to you again. Then you got to go to another school for another 4 years. They give you the same bull crap again, but you're still never career orientated. You're still never provided with wealth, right? So I think what happens is that the schools need to go back, because you got people now who are in positions who've been there for 800 years. We got people in positions now who have no care about how your kids are educated. They just know that the system says that they have to do this, take these tests and go. But if they take these vocationals and they understand what vocational is, what the heck is a guidance counselor? The guidance counselor not doing what they're supposed to be doing. A child should understand career opportunities starting from as little as the fourth grade, the fifth grade, they should start understanding. Because you remember one time we used to always say, you ask a young man what he wanted to be. I want to be a cop, right?
Mhm.
I want to be a fireman, right? Because that's what you see.
Right.
And that's what I meant about Black folks. We don't see, like, just to do a few plugs here, guys, real quick. You know,
Mhm.
my brother Eric Dawson, um, he had no idea that he would one day be in a position with this business that he started with these with desserts that he has, and have made such a financial impact, right? He didn't think that, but he sat down and with his ingenuity, he did that. And that all comes from the discipline that he was given at an early age. And I talk about him often about that. And I have other stories. My sister used to work for AAA. They fired her. My sister, well, long story. They did that. And
Long
she went
story
and opened
short.
up Honey Bunny baskets. And she sat
Mhm.
down with me for a very long period of time. And I walked her through everything and helped her. And she also went and got some other training. Now, Honey Bunny Baskets is doing amazing, right? That's her
Mhm.
job, her hustle, what she do. So it is important for Black folks to be able to see what needs to be seen. And vocational wise, we need to be able to allow the people in positions to create environments that these young folks are being taught careers. Forget labor. We've been slaves all our lives. Forget that. We need to be taught how to create wealth, right? We need to know, what can I do now? Everyone's not college material,
Right.
right? Everyone's not college material, but every single human being, 100% of them, are hustlers.
Mm.
So there is something you can do on the side that has impressed your mind. You can buy someone's business. You can franchise another business. You can partner with somebody. You could sell anything other than what you've made on your regular job
Mhm.
is a plus.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I know when I worked, when I was in the corporate world, I always thought about, oh, if I get this promotion, I'll get another 20,000. Oh, if I get this promotion, I'll get another 15,000. But I looked at it as, okay, I can be making 150, I can making 175. But when I started to realize what I was doing was really bringing in money to the company, and I realized I could do it for myself, I said I could be a millionaire. I don't have to have a limit, because with a company, you are limited at what they want to pay you.
Right.
And when they decide to stop giving you a raise or not give you a bonus, there's nothing that you can do about it unless you move to another company
That's
to
right.
get more money.
That's right.
But when you're self-employed, the money that you make is no limit to it.
No
You
limits.
can, and there's no limit on the hours and the time that you put into it. So that makes a big
It
difference.
it does, guys. Listen, let me tell you something. And I know she hates when I say this, but I've been knowing Diane all her life. And I know, I'm sorry, Diane, I have to tell them this. And Diane is the epitome. She is the direct representative of a Black woman that understands wealth, a strong mother who has a teacher, who has a daughter as a teacher, who understands what is going on, what she needs to do. And these are images and role models that I say in our areas and our environments that we need more of. Diane took it upon herself with what she just said to you, that it was best for her to create her own. Now, mind you, she had to sit in front of the computer to get her paperwork, but look where she's at today. She can ride this thing out until it's over because she controls that. She can vacation anytime she feels like it, anywhere. She could put a sign in front of her door, I'll be back whenever the hell I want to. And guess
And,
what?
and
Right?
Cindy, you know I do it too.
She ain't playing. She ain't playing. But you know what?
Sometimes I take mid-afternoon naps.
You have to die, but you never stop your money because you've created that. So what Diane is saying to you all, and I'm saying to you all, is that as much as you sit there and you complain, stop complaining. Take what you have in your brain, take what you have that's near you, take what you have that's around you, and find out, how can I make it work for me? And how do you do that? We're going to rewind the videotape. Mentorship. Diane has been here with us on this tube talking about this for years. I've been on this. Brother Phil Wilson's been on this. Eric's been on this. Kevin Jenkins, Gail, Donna, we all been talking about this for years. You have the opportunity, folks, to pay attention to your hustle and let your hustle create money for you. But add the things that I said in there: relationships, great customer service, attention to detail, giving back, Never be afraid to offer something to get something, right? Give a lot to get a little, and give a little to get a lot. But at the same time, there's no such thing as excellence, but there is such thing as consistency. And that's all you want to rely on, is being consistent.
So you talked about the role of the parent and how it's important for the parent to be involved with these children, to get them even into vocational schools, or get them to even look at trades and have them in the school system. So that also means that the parents have to be involved on a school board level to make sure that they are putting pressure on the superintendents and the principals to bring these things back into the school system, or figure out a way to supplement them. Now, I know you were telling me that you're going to be speaking at a school, and you're going to be talking to the administrators. When is that happening? What's that about?
That's my daughter's schedule. My daughter, just to let you all know, my daughter is in charge of the company, right? My daughter's in charge of everything I have. My son-in-law is the second in charge. I'm the third podium. I'm the third guy on the totem pole, any way you look at it, right? So it's their business. My grandchildren are going to be taking part in owning stuff and doing all that. So I'm getting ready to talk at a school, or the Orange campus, and I'm going to be talking to the administrators in March, right here in March. I think it's going towards the 24th, might be a little bit earlier, but I got to really look at that. And I've already spoken to a lot of the other schools. I've spoken to all of the Votex in North, from there. So it's been a great system and great faculties that have allowed me to come in and talk to the kids. But let me share something with them real quick, if I could, Di.
Sure.
Okay. So I went to the school, and I went to the school, and I was talking to the kids. I have a whole bunch of stories, guys. I can talk for 5 hours, 12 hours, because I've been through so much, and I talk, and I love talking about business. But I'm going to share a story with you. So I went to the school, and I was talking to the kids, and they brought the kids into a room for me at the vocational school, and the teachers were all there, and there was one teacher who has some racial reservations, right? He does, he has that. And there's another teacher, he's on the verge, and he don't really give a doggone about the kids either way. So we bring the kids into school, Spanish and Black kids, bring them into school, in the class, in that room, and I'm talking to them. So I asked the kids, what's the difference between an asset and a liability? The room was so quiet that if a fly burped, you would have heard him. So I said, wow. So I explained to them about assets and liability. And then I asked the kids about what's the difference between a professional and an amateur. They scratched their head. They didn't know. So I told them. But what was bothersome was the teacher that I said had that racial reserve. He wanted to know, what am I going to offer to change these kids? He was the person that was in charge of getting them jobs. The other teacher was a teacher. And he says, I'm out of here. I ain't got to deal with this. So I'll be gone soon. So the mindset that you had was, hey, if you can win them over, you can. If you can't, I ain't worried about them out. The other one was, why should I get them a job with you? So our children are not getting any type of guidance. There's no guidance counselors. There's no guidance teacher. Now, this happened twice. This happened twice, not just once. This happened twice. I called the school and said, hey, listen, I need 3 kids for the summer. Diane, if I got those 3 kids, you got those 3 kids. And if I got a phone call back, you got a phone call back. And what happens is that our parents, let's go back to our parents, our Black parents are not demanding. They're so busy on social media, doing all the unnecessary, making Facebook all this money, making Instagram and them all this money, but they're not taking part of that energy and focusing on making sure that they go to these schools, these meetings that you spoke of, parents meetings, or even just demanding a conversation and say, hey, listen, how do we increase the participation of our young Black kids to be able to get out there and to use these vocational trainings? Because now if you go there, they don't let you out of school like they used to go to work. They try to let you out at 2 or 3 o'clock. Well, at Contractors, we're cleaning up at 2, 3 o'clock. We don't need them at 2, 3 o'clock. There may be insurance issues. I don't know. But the point of it is that, believe me when I say this, and I stand strongly to it, the schools are not putting enough emphasis that have it on making sure that these young folks are really really involved in that career movement, that development of processes. They are not. Their job is to get them in. You get it, you don't. You get it, you get it, you don't, you don't. There's no strong. So parents, they have to play a part in making sure that that's your baby, that's your little one, that's your mini me. If you don't give a damn about them and you want somebody else to, then you just about as stupid as they can get, because that's your responsibility at the end of the day.
Right. Absolutely. And what happens is, if the parents aren't encouraging the students and the students aren't getting involved in vocational, if they're not going to college, they end up being a detriment to not only the family, but also the community. Because now we have these adults that have no skills and they have no direction in the community. So everybody else is left to fend for them because they can't fish for themselves.
Right. Exactly. And you know, Diane, that's important. See, guys, that's important. Understand what Diane is saying to you. What Diane is saying to you, if your crazy behind was to pass away, your crazy behind was to die, that child is left here to become part of a system that is going to not only destroy them, take advantage of them, but leave them to become part of the problem, because you did not supply them, you did not provide them, and you did not equip them with the proper tools, mentally, psychologically, or physically, to be able to survive. Listen, I had a young man that was working with me. He said to me, "Thank you for showing me how to sweep." Sweep. Everybody know how to sweep, but no one's ever give him, he's 17, 16 years old. He know how to sweep. He know how to sweep. He know how to use a broom. That's sad. That's sad. I've been using a broom since I was 4 years old, besides the one that was put upside my head when I didn't do it right. But our parents, the guardians, I don't even know they're parents now. They're just guardians. They are
chaperones.
Chaperones. Yeah. They're brothers and sisters. They're not giving you know, I've seen parents curse out teachers. I've seen parents curse out their kids for not doing something right in the street, like bring your such and such. But so I look at that. Women put more emphasis on trying to make sure a sorry ass man is involved in their life, and men put so much emphasis in being vindictive, because they got to pay child support and they don't want to supply and equip and develop. They don't want to do that because it's a selfish fight. So folks, I tell you something, as much as it is a selfish fight, Diane said it a few minutes ago, you are allowing your child or the children or whomever to be involved in a system that's going to do two things to them. It's going to keep them down always as a laborer, or it's going to wipe them out. So you have to, as parents, realize that not only am I going to train what I have, but I'm going to train as many as I can, so that the system that we are involved in our community, as Diane spoke of, doesn't become a rat place, doesn't become a bad place. It becomes a place of development. See, we need to make sure that our houses are getting the proper appraisals that the white folks are getting in their area, right? But we need young people to grow up to find themselves in systems that can help us to be a part of that, the state, the county, the federal level. And you need to have your child to understand, hey, this house is not worth nothing. We need you to be an attorney to represent this. We need you to be the architect, the engineer. We need you to be these things so that we can grow what we've always had. So you can spend a lot of time teaching children how to be negative. And majority of our parents and family teach them how to be negative, because the first thing you do is you allow them to be free on the video game. That's so you allow them to be negative, right? What you need to do is that you need to be able to get more and more involved of mentorship, focusing on demand, control, and develop. Demand them to get out, control what they do, and allow them and help them to develop their career opportunities. Don't teach them how to go to, and I hate this, what I'm going to say. Don't teach them how to go to Burger King and Wendy's talking about how can I help you. Teach them how to own Burger King, how to own McDonald's, and help other people to develop.
That's absolutely true. So Sydney, tell me, your business is Lou Hall.
Yes, the name of my business,
LouHall.com,
and B&D Restoration and Cleaning.
Okay. And what kind of projects are you working on that you do the most of? that you
Oh,
enjoy?
I love the construction. I love both of them, but right now I love remodeling, but I'm getting ready soon to get out of remodeling. Yeah, I'm going to be concentrating on just building.
Oh, okay. So that'll be new home, new building for residential.
Yes, I'm
Or-
going to be concentrating on getting building new homes and modular homes.
Okay, nice. And that's going to be here in New Jersey, or you're going to be working out of state?
Right now, we're probably going to be scheduled to do more working out of state. We're going to probably looking to go down to Georgia, going to North Carolina, and down there in those areas. But that's more or less going towards, the middle and the end of the year. I have a team now that I just put together, so we're looking to do that. Mhm.
And I know you have, if people follow you on your page, on your Sydney Barnes page, and do you have a Lou Hall page for
Yeah,
the
I have a
Instagram and
Lou Hall
stuff too?
page, Instagram, Lou Hall. If you go on YouTube, I'm on there. I have videos on there.
That's what I was gonna say. You got tons of videos. I like the videos that you do when you're actually at the projects doing stuff and you're giving people kind of the walkthrough.
Yes,
And I love the before and after pictures as well. The one thing I like about your videos is you see the before and after pictures, so we know you're the one who's actually doing it.
yes.
Some contractors, I've looked on their pages or talked to them, and they send you stuff, and you don't know whether they did the work. You just know they put a nice picture up on
That's
their
right.
website.
Yeah. No, I'm there. I'm doing the videos for that purpose. I just, honestly, to be honest with you, Di, and this is credit to you. I'm gonna give you the kudos. The only reason why I keep doing them so much is because of you. Because
Really?
because you used to express that to me all the time. I didn't know they were making sense to anybody. Nobody
Mhm.
said nothing to me. But when you said it, I was like, well, I don't care if it takes many to say it. Just take one person to say it.
Yeah,
So I'll
I
keep
know.
doing it.
I enjoy the videos. I would watch the videos while you were doing the live videos and stuff. And it's very interesting to just see the how the project actually comes to fruition. You know,
Yeah.
seeing from the beginning when you tear down the walls and we start to put the walls up, when you do the kitchens and the bathrooms. I know you've done a bathroom for me. You know, I'm always amazed at the stuff that you do. I'm like, oh, okay, this is look, and not that I don't expect it to be good. I'm just always amazed at the process in which y'all do it.
Oh, we thank you. We thank you, Di.
Mhm.
And you don't hold back either, so we know that too. Diane will tell you in a minute. Listen, I don't like this shit. Just don't do this. Yeah, so Diane,
Shh, don't tell
I
anybody.
know, I know. But I think it's important, guys, and I know you're going to be wrapping up soon, Di. And
Mhm.
I wanted to say this to people as much as I can. Guys, listen, please understand, Diane, myself, all the people that we know, we would love to have a mentorship opportunity or internship for anyone, men, women, boys, girls, whomever, disabled, whomever. It's just about empowering and making sure that people who look like us are having a chance and opportunity, as you spoke of a few minutes ago, to enhance and empower and grow their community, but more importantly, to help to empower and grow themselves, to have that power of wealth.
Now, you know, I know in my industry, you only need a high school diploma and to pass the certification test. In construction, is that similar or the same?
It's in this business, you need common sense, right? That's pretty much what it is. You need common sense. And my father used to say, I know you hear me, I know you're listening, but when you put those two together, it has to equal paying attention. So you have to have common sense and you have to pay attention. And you can make, and I give people, let me give you these numbers real quick. I have a friend of mine who in California, who has a landscaping business. And in 6 months, they made almost close to $500,000, a little bit more than $500,000 in the beginning. I have another buddy of mine who's a mason who just got a government contract and some other stuff. And he's getting ready to go down to Texas. And he just got a $5.2 million contract. So I think that we need to understand that this business that I'm in is a very lucrative business.
Mhm, mhm.
Very,
And
very.
you don't have to get your hands dirty, but you need to know what's going on.
You don't have
So
to. Hey, listen. The most prominent and strongest piece of this business, who makes the most money, are Black women, minorities, because there's so many grants and loans and so many federal programs that they give to business, and the women don't have to touch nothing. She just have to run a business, right?
oh, don't tell me that. And I'm
It's
messing
true.
around. That'll be my fourth or fifth business, starting
Oh,
a
let me tell you
construction
something.
business.
There was a Black woman that got over $15 million when Sandy came and to go
Mhm.
over Puerto Rico and to do work over there. And she don't, no, you just need, Diane, if you started a company, you don't even have to be in business for a long period of time. Start the company, get everything ordered, and you can apply for all these. You can apply to SAM, which is a federal government program,
Yep.
which FEMA,
Mhm.
right? Which
Yep.
I'm registered with. And once they know that you're a female and you're a minority, and you have, listen, the money for you as a contractor is outstanding. And it, now, mind you, Di, it doesn't have to be for construction. It could be for cleaning. It could be for.
And that means that I don't have to do the work. I could always subcontract the work.
That's all you do. You're the boss.
Look, we're gonna be talking. I may start another business.
You can't, Di. The money is definitely there. Listen,
and you know I love construction anyway. I don't know if you saw my Facebook page. My husband bought me a ladder for Christmas.
I seen that. Had me rolling. Had me rolling.
A ladder for Christmas. So the other day, I told you the awning came down.
I seen it.
So we ended up just taking it down ourselves because we didn't want it to fall because of the snow and everything. We knew you couldn't get over here. And then the next thing you know, now I'm hammering nails on the side of the house.
I think he bought you a hammer, right? I seen it. Yeah.
I had the hammer, and the hammer was handed down to me from my father. So it's an old hammer. Yes. But hammers really don't go bad.
Hammer's a hammer, right?
Yeah, hammer's a hammer on my new ladder. So just yesterday, I saw a box that came in from Amazon with my name on it. So I opened up the box. So he bought me a tray to put on my ladder so I could hold stuff.
Oh, that's nice. Next to be a tool belt and a helmet. That is nice. No, I think that's great because I seen it. I was like, what the hell did I doing up there? But that's how I love it. I love it, Di. No, that was great. I seen it.
So apparently I am the handyman. I can fix stuff around here. Him not so much. So he goes to buy the tools and he gives me the tools and then I fix it.
It's not always the case. Listen, some of the best mechanics that we have in our business are women, right? I would love to have women in my business doing this. I would love to, because women have a patience but an understanding for details that men don't, right? When women don't be sitting around on their phone playing around, they focus. So but no, that's great, Di. And it's interesting because you'd never have to show up to a job with this federal money. You don't have to show up anywhere. You don't have to show up nothing. You have a representative. See, you have to run a business. Remember, you're a business person first. You are an insurance lady second.
Right.
And when you run your business, you're hiring someone to do what they do. All your big, from Turner Contracting to all these big construction outfits, the huge ones, the bosses don't do no work. They have, they have on-site managers.
Well, you've opened up something in my head. I have a friend, a female that is a construction contractor. She's down in DC. She gets a lot of contracts. I've never really talked to her about the business, but now that you've said something, I definitely will, because like you said, the availability is there. The money, you can make it. It's a lucrative business. There.
Very much.
And I don't have to get my hands dirty.
No. I say money, there's billions of dollars. Billions of dollars through the Small Business Administration, through FEMA, all that from a woman. And if you join the organizations, I think the organizations can charge you anywhere from $150 to $1,500, but it doesn't matter. But once you're in there, the amount of work comes to you as a Black minority woman, and there's a lot of people competing against certain contracts. But once you do your homework and understand that, Di, I say this fairly to you and any Black woman who hears my voice, is that there's a whole lot of money out there for you to make.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Sydney, for spending some time with me this morning, talking about the construction business, the industry, how lucrative it is, and to remind parents that there are opportunities out there in the vocational world where they can do construction, they could be a barber, a hairstylist, dental hygiene.
Yes.
Many different things that are available to them, and it's available to people who are coming out of jail that may have a record, which is great too, because it leaves it open for you to be able to be a business owner and to make as much money as you want to make based on working a business.
100%.
So I appreciate you. Thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you. Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
You've been listening to It's a Sure Thing, sponsored by DLM Insurance, with your host, Diane Murray-Clements. Join us again. Subscribe and follow us on YouTube and Instagram.